Hi, everyone. My name is Yama and I'm here to present the Waiwa project. But before I begin, I do have a few questions to ask the audience here. How many of you here know about this government program, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act? And my second question is, how many of you here know someone who have lost their job because their skills are no longer in demand, or there are still know someone who struggle on minimum wages, could not make ends meet, and finally end up in the street as a homeless person? Well, the good news is the government have their back. This program is a landmark legislation that is funded by the US Department of Labor. It distributes funds among states designed to strengthen and improve the nation public workforce system. It helps job seekers access employment. It also helps employers hire and retain skilled workers so they too can compete in the global economy. So the goal for this project is to see how much money is out there with states and how much of it they are actually using. And in order for me to reach the goal, I have to do some tweaking with the data, like removing columns, unnecessary columns, removing duplicates, all this to ensure that the data is accurate and consistent. And also this enhances performance. Another important thing I have to do was to create my KPIs. So the KPIs will help me to analyze this data better in order to reach my goal. Waiwa includes 5 titles, but for this presentation, I'll be focusing on Title 1, which authorizes employment-related vocational, I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong slide. I'll be focusing on Title 1, but for a brief minute, we'll take a look at Title 4, just to show the beauty and the inclusiveness of this program. So the Title 4 authorizes employment-related vocational rehabilitation services to individuals with disabilities. And this is not just limited to people with physical disability, but also people with intellectual and behavioral disabilities, like our friends with autism, with bipolar, with Down syndrome. All of them will fall under this group. So I've had the opportunity to work with people in this category. They go through this program, they are trained to assimilate back in society so they too can contribute positively into the society they live in. And according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics in 2021, 19.1% were people employed with disability. This number might not be big. It might not seem like a huge number, but it's very significant. My friend here, 49-year-old AJ, has been enjoying this program for many, many years, and she has been working for the past 3 years. She too is proudly part of the 19.1% in 2021. And at the end of the year, she do file for her taxes and pay whatever she needs to pay if she owes the government. So I just bring up this story to show you the inclusiveness and the beauty of this program. Now we'll go ahead and look at our Title 1, which will be our focus point. This authorizes job training and related services to unemployed or underemployed individuals, especially in our different demographic groups like adults, youth, dislocated worker, especially those with significant barriers to employment. So in this program year, the total allocated funds was like $5 billion. And this is the combination of the funds we got from the adults group and the youth and the dislocated group. So for the adult group, 29.5% of the funds were given to the adult group at $1.4 billion, followed by the youth group at 31.3%, which amounts to $1.5 billion. And the highest percentage was given to the dislocated worker group at 39.2%, which was like $1.8 billion. So here we're going to look at how our different demographic groups actually spend the money. So the adults group here spend 29.9%, which is $421 million, leaving a balance of $986 million. The youth group spent 27.1%, which amounts to $404 million, leaving a balance of $1 billion. Dislocated worker, mind you, was given the highest percentage of 39.2%. They actually spent 21.6%, which totals to $403 million, and leaving a balance of $1.5 billion. So during our analysis too, I have come up with the crucial insights, and this is my positive insights, and the KPI is percentage of expenditure. So here we have New York, Montana, and Missouri. All three states respectively have a percentage expenditure of 33%, with a balance of 67%. And also we have our negative insights, and again the KPI is percentage of expenditure. Again, here we have the District of Columbia. So the District of Columbia has the lowest percentage of expenditure of 15%, leaving a balance of 85%. And I don't know how familiar you guys are with the District of Columbia, but homelessness is very prevalent here. And my suggestion here is for the district to take full potential of this program, so they can enroll more people and get some of these people off the street and back into education, and give them access to education and employment opportunities, so you can have more people into the workforce system. And the same recommendation will be applicable to all states that have vast amount of unused funds. Here we have Colaberry as a learning institution will fall under the Title I. Colaberry will receive benefits through Texas Worker Commission and through qualified students. And because of that, we want to narrow down our analysis to see how Texas as a state did with this program. So Texas was allocated $288 million, and the funds were distributed as follows. So the youth group has the highest amount of $100 million, followed by dislocated worker at $96 million. So the least amount went to the adults group at $90 million. Now let's see how Texas they spend the money, whether the same trend is gonna continue with Texas as well. So here we have the youth group spending 31.2%, which is $31 million, leaving a balance of $70 million. I'm rounding up the numbers. The adults group spent 29.6%, which is $26 million plus, leaving a balance of $64 million. The dislocated workers spent 23.11%, which amounts to $22 million, leaving a balance of $74 million. Again, you guys can see the same trend continues even for the state of Texas. Now let's go ahead and look at this data in our visual form. So here I have my KPIs. I have available balance, which will be the overall funds, the total funds, and we have expenditure percentage, which is the percentage of the funds that have been used, and balance. So the balance will be the remaining funds after expenditure, and previous year carry in. This is the funds that have been carried over from the previous program year. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our visuals. The first one here, we have available balance by region. We have our 5 regions here. As you can see, the South here has the highest available balance of $2 billion. And this is about 40% of the overall funds, followed by the West at $1 billion, which is 20%, followed by the Midwest at 935%, which is about 15% of the funds, and the least amount goes to outlining here. So outlining is $290 million, which is about 5.7% of the funds, and outlining will consist of those U.S. territories that are outside of mainland, like Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands. So those will fall under outlining here. Also here, we have a drill down effect. When I click here, you can see our different states and the allocated funds they have, with California with the highest fund of $606 million, followed by Texas at $288 million. So our next chart here, we have total available by state. So here, illustrated on a map, and the darker the state, the more total funds they have available. And the lighter shows obviously that they have less funds. This, the next chart here, I have breakdown by category. You can see that by default, I have my logo unless a filter has been applied. Without filter, you only see the logo here. So let's go back. If I click on my South, you will see my expenditure here showing in green, which shows a positive, and that's 27%, which is a point higher than the overall 26% here. And also, so here you see previous year carry-in is also showing green, which is a positive of 41%. Nothing has changed from the previous year. And for balance, we have balance in the negative, which is because balance is at 73%, and it's a point less than the overall balance of 74%. Now, with my last chart here, I have previous year carry-in by state, and bubbles are colored based on the percentage of expenditure. So the higher expenditure they have, the darker the color will be here. So let's take a look at the state of California. As you can see here, California has the highest funds available balance of $606 million, and they only end up spending 28%, leaving a balance of 72%. So from this, we can tell that our states are not taking maximum utilization of the funds. They are not taking the full potential of this program. And another recommendation I have is for the Department of Labor to implement laws that will force all the states to take maximum utilization of the funds, so more people can benefit from this program and enter into the workforce system. With that being said, that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.